Hey, what is going on, boys? Welcome back to another video, and today this is how an endgame player would start a new profile. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of you already going to the comments, Yadi, haven't you already uploaded this video 2 times? Yes. And unfortunately, every time I do upload one of these videos, the admins change the game. So, I have to come up with a new meta, go and do all the science and create everything, and make sure that you guys have the best way to start a new profile. So, I came up with some new things. It's actually not really that new. It's just one of the recommendations that I've been giving people already. We're going to put it into this video, show off how good it is. Before we get into this video, I do want to ask you guys to please scroll down and subscribe. Only 11% of viewers are subscribed, so if you're coming back to the videos and you like them anyway, please leave a like to let me know that you do like them, and you might as well subscribe. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. So first thing I would like to address is I'm not going to be making another new profile. I already have the other one, you know, and starting a new profile is just going to take a lot of time. But everything said in this video is still going to work for you, I promise. If you'd like a more in-depth look on how to progress to Skyblock level 7, as well as start farming glowing mushrooms, I'll have the other video linked in the comments if that's something for you. Otherwise, feel free to just follow along with this video. So first things first, when starting a new profile, the first thing you should do is turn around, head over to Jamie. Jamie is a great NPC because they're going to give you the Rogue Sword, which has an amazing ability. Grants plus 100 speed for 30 seconds, allowing you to move way faster than your normal speed. The next thing you should do is go around the hub and start talking to these villagers to get 5 Skyblock XP. If you don't know where they are, you're struggling to find them all, you can head over to the wiki, which will be linked to the description, and it should have all the cords for each one of these villagers. The next good thing to do is run around and start farming some wheat for coins, for your initial coins. Get like an inventory or 2 and make sure to sell these. The next thing I would do is head over to the lumber merchant and start purchasing some wooden axes, some wooden hoes, maybe a wooden shovel or 2, and some wooden pickaxes that you can store in your storage in order to be able to prep minions. Each minion requires one of these wooden tools depending on what it is. So foraging minions require wooden axes, farming minions require wooden hoes, mining minions require wooden pickaxes. Each of these unique minions give 1 Skyblock XP each. Next thing I would do is make sure to talk to the librarian for plus 5 Skyblock XP. I would talk to the mine merchant and buy some gold and coal, so that you can then take it over to B and purchase a common B pet, which requires 5k coins, 2 blocks of coal, which is 18 coal, and 2 blocks of gold, which is 18 gold. Make sure to claim this B pet. It should give you plus 3 Skyblock XP. Make sure to equip it so you can start gaining taming XP. I would then go back to the farm merchant, purchase a rookie hoe, and do another couple rounds of wheat in order to progress through farming and make a little bit more money. I would try to get to around farming 7, as well as collections with wheat and seeds, and then move on to the next goal of mining 12. In order to get mining 12, we actually need a shovel. So we're going to head back over to the mine merchant, purchase a gold ingot, grab some sticks from the lumber merchant, craft ourselves a golden shovel, bring it over to the librarian, purchase 66 experience bottles, and make sure to get efficiency 3. You can actually do this with efficiency 2. I like efficiency 3 because you get that extra enchanting level. After getting the shovel, you're going to make your way over to the barn. Before heading straight to the barn, make sure to talk to the farmer for plus 5 Skyblock XP, and then you can also talk to the farmhand for plus 5 Skyblock XP. We actually need to head straight through. If you would like to farm some potatoes and some carrots for some easy minions as well as easy collection levels, be my guest. Heading over to the desert settlement, what we need to be doing is mining sand. Mining sand is the fastest way to get early game mining XP. It's also really nice in terms of Skyblock XP for Sand Collection 7 and Sand Minion level 4. Now, if I haven't explained this up to this point, the reason why you want to hit Skyblock level 7 is so that you can unlock the Bazaar. Unlocking the Bazaar opens up a lot of money-making methods in this game, allowing you to build some money to use on other parts of the game. After a solid amount of mining, you should hit mining level 12 and Sand Collection 7 and use your sand to make your minion to at least level 4. The next thing I would do is head back to the hub and head over to the Wool Weaver. Talking to the Wool Weaver, we want to purchase a stack of white wool. The reason why is because we need to unlock the carpentry skill. Heading over here to the carpenter, if we give him 64 wool, we'll be able to unlock the carpentry skill. Then what you should do is take all the sand that you stored in your ender chest pages, craft them into enchanting sand to start leveling up your carpentry skill. If you hit carpentry level 3, it unlocks quick craft, which is really nice. The next thing to do for Skyblock XP is to head over to the AH, and you should have a decent amount of money from leveling up mining as well as selling the extra sand. and you're going to purchase a jungle axe. Usually you want to look for one that's efficiency 5, but because this is triple the price of this jungle axe, purchase this one, head over to the librarian, buy a bunch of experience bottles, and get efficiency 5 on that jungle axe. Make sure to talk to the banker as you pass him for +5 Skyblock XP, as well as talking to the lumberjack. The next thing you should do is mine oak wood to at least collection level 3 or 4 and get your oak minion to level 2. You should then head on to the park. You should do the same thing here as you did for oak, mining birch to collection level 3 or 4, getting the minion to level 2, mining spruce to collection level 3 or 4, getting to mining level 2, mining dark oak, mining acacia, and mining jungle wood, etc, etc, etc. You should get a lot of Skyblock XP from that, as well as from leveling up your foraging skill, and then you want to head back over here to Melody. Melody has this harp minigame, which is annoying for some, but is very, very good for Skyblock XP. If you have a ping below 150, maybe below 200, you shouldn't really struggle with this. It shouldn't be like immensely hard. I would definitely do it because completing all the songs gets you 137 Skyblock XP on top of Melody's hair, which is an important talisman, and 12 Skyblock XP when you put it in your accessory bag. If you need tips on this or need help, make sure to check out my other video where I go more in depth on that, and it'll be linked in the description. The next thing you want to do is you should have some more money from leveling up foraging. You want to head back to the AH and check on the prices of these pets. You want to try to purchase yourself a rare Enderman. Usually they're cheaper than 30k, but 30k is very solid. This will get you +8 Skyblock XP, I believe. You then want to try to purchase an epic armadillo for cheap, or a rare armadillo depending on what your budget is. If ghoul is cheap enough, you also want to try to purchase a ghoul pet. Now obviously 600k is absolutely absurd, but if ghoul is like 50, 60k, try to purchase one of those. That'll be 12 Skyblock XP, as well as an epic tarantula pet, which again is 36k. Very affordable, plus 12 Skyblock XP. And lastly, the thing to do is to head over to the tavern. The bartender will be standing out here. You want to talk to him, complete his quest by killing 10 zombies. Head back to him. After completing his quest, you are then able to talk to Maddox. Talking to Maddox, we can do Revenant Horror 1, and we can actually do 3 of these in order to obtain Zombie Slayer level 1, which is plus 15 Skyblock XP, as well as Zombie Slayer level 2, which is plus 25 Skyblock XP. On top of the fact that we also completed a tier 1 Slayer boss, which will give us a decent amount of Skyblock XP. Doing all that should get you to Skyblock level 7. If you're still not there, go get level 1 in all easy mining collections, go get level 1 in all easy farming collections, and slowly level up everything else. Once again, if you want a more in-depth guide on this, I went over this in my last How an Endgame Player Would Start a New Profile video. Make sure to check that out. The next thing to do is head back to the desert settlement. Why? Because we are gonna go grind glowing mushrooms again. While some of you may complain that I'm killing prices of this money-making method, it's still very decent to NPC as well. It's not really that big of a deal, so I hope you can forgive me. After making your way to the glowing mushroom cave, you're going to farm these highlighted glowing mushrooms, or if you don't have any U, they're just going to have green particles. I would recommend using the mod NEU. Make sure you get the beta version, or the most updated version from the Mulberry Bush Discord, which can be found in my Discord, or the GitHub, which can also be found in my Discord. And make sure you search for glowing mushrooms. All you have to do is turn this on. It should highlight them. You could actually change the highlight color if you would like, and you're going to be farming this for chumming talisman. The first thing you need to do while farming them is make sure you purchase Moby shears, which require 5 full chum buckets. Chum can be purchased off the bazaar, which you have now unlocked for very, very cheap. I would just purchase a full inventory and make sure to store it in one of these ender chest pages. And then you can purchase empty chum buckets with 2k coins each and 8 glowing mushrooms each. After getting Moby shears, you're basically just going to farm as many of these glowing mushrooms as possible, convert them to chumming talismans via full chum buckets, again needing more chum, as well as purchasing empty chum buckets. All you have to do is place the empty chum bucket next to water, fill it with chum, pick it up. This is also subsequently a very good way to level fishing. On this account, I was actually able to get my fishing level to a level 11. That is plus 60 Skyblock XP right there, just from farming chumming talismans. This is the easiest way to start building a little bit of coinage in order to get into the main method in this video. Before we get into the main method, I do want to go over why treasure hoarders aren't viable anymore, at least for early game, and what the admins actually changed. So for those of you that don't know, I'm assuming a lot of you know. I'm assuming a lot of the people watching this video have either seen my last video, or if you're completely new, make sure to go check it out, because there's still a lot of good information that I kind of went over quickly this video, because I'm trying to get into the main method for you guys. I'm not trying to make this video take a billion years. So basically what happened was this Aurora staff right here was really good because you could purchase it for super cheap and use it to farm these guys called treasure hoarders. This could make, at literally just like a couple hours into a profile, 13 to 15 mil an hour, which is incredibly good. Incredibly good. You can use that to buy a cookie in an hour, use that to buy a god pot plus gear in an hour, and you'll be well on your way to start actually building net worth. Now, unfortunately, the admins had a lot of changes to items in Crimson Isle, and one of the big changes was Aurora staff. They actually added a combat requirement, which is combat 22, which is what you need to unlock the Crimson Isles, as well as a Kudra tier 1 completion. The reason why I'm assuming is because Aurora staff is dropped from Kudra, but it's still really annoying. So due to that, there were some people that were actually recommending the Frozen Scythe in order to grind these treasure hoarders. The issue is I actually bought a Frozen Scythe on this profile. The issue with it is it doesn't deal enough damage to one shot. You would have to actually two-shot. Now you could be like, hey Yadi, there are ways to increase ability damage like you mentioned in your old profile, but the issue is a lot of them are really expensive, or I would have to like farm the sheep up to 100. I would have to try to get more mana by like doing a ton of alchemy. It just wasn't viable. And even if I was able to get my ability damage up that high, I don't think I would have enough mana to maintain the ability to kill these hoarders. On top of the fact that the only reason why the hoarders are so good is because of the fact that you can kill all 7 in one like 10-second cycle. That's where most of the money comes from, is actually efficiency, like going up, bam. Another one that spawns here, over here, bam. Killing that one, bam. Coming in here. And just being able to stand at this spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, which you still can, but now I have to fire 2. Even if I had to fire 1, I still don't think I would regen the mana fast enough, and I just don't think it's worth it. Now, some people might also say, well, Yadi, what is the fastest way to get to combat level 2 and get a basic Kudra completion? And here's the thing, there isn't really a fastest way. The fastest way is you could actually come down to the Great Ice Wall in Dwarven Mines, get out your trusty pickaxe, and start farming Glaciate Walkers. As you can see, they give a very solid amount of combat XP, and you can use this to get higher levels in combat. All you need is a pickaxe. Now, the issue is if you don't have any armor, I would recommend buying Glaciate armor off the AH and then probably selling the Glaciate armor you get from farming this back to the AH to get your coins back. But the issue with this is the fact that it's still going to take 8 hours or something. It's something absurd to actually hit combat 22. And on top of that, once you get combat 22, you have to complete a faction quest before you can do Kudra, which is expensive and takes a lot of time. You have to find somebody to carry you because you're not going to be able to solo a basic Kudra. So there are just a lot of caveats to this. The best way to grind combat early game probably is Glaciate Walkers, which is a good tip for those of you that want to know that. The other thing that you can do is you can actually go to the end and farm Enderman, 9k health Enderman, which is also very good for combat XP and probably comparable to Glaciate Walkers. Glaciate Walkers just has a lower gear requirement. You're probably going to need a Void Sword and Ender Armor if you want to be able to one-shot 9k health Enderman as well as some MP. Other things that people will mention is actually getting into Bestiary and leveling Bestiary. The issue with leveling Bestiary is you don't see a lot of that extra combat experience until way later in the levels. Like this is level 50 before you're getting 1,000,000 combat experience. For those of you that don't know, it takes 1.22 million combat experience to get to combat level 22. That means you're probably going to have to get to at least Bestiary level 40. And there's not that many Bestiaries you can grind. I mean, you can grind the island ones, that's not great. You can grind the hub ones, I mean, not a lot of them. You probably can't kill Golden Ghoul. You probably can't kill Old Wolf. You probably can't kill a lot of the mobs in the Spider's Den, meaning that Bestiary probably just isn't the way to go. I would not recommend grinding Bestiary to get that combat requirement, on top of the fact that getting the Kudra requirement is probably a little too much for early game players, especially those that have never played the game before. So you may be asking me, Yadi, you're giving me a lot of bad news. You're telling me about what doesn't work and what I shouldn't do, but what should I be doing? What is the method? I've been watching this video for, how long is it, like 10 minutes or something. What should I be doing to progress my profile the furthest? And I thank you for asking that. You want to know what it is? Rift. Rift is by far the best early game money making methods you could possibly have. There are some methods in there that make 30 to 40 mil an hour, and you can be getting into Rift in your first day. Now, I'd still recommend finishing Rift, which is probably going to take a day or two for most people, just because of the fact that it's like 70 minutes of Rift time, which is a lot of time if you can fully complete the Rift, and then it also saves you money, because it does cost money or bits to enter. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Instead, to unlock the Rift, what we need to do is obtain Skyblock level 12. In terms of Skyblock level 12, I've already mentioned this before, but just grinding glowing mushrooms initially for coins, because you're going to need these coins to buy Grand XP bottles to enter the Rift anyway, and leveling fishing. I got plus 60 Skyblock XP from this, and that's only fishing 11. It could definitely be gotten higher. Trying to unlock tier 1 in all easy farming collections such as cactus, carrot, cocoa beans, melon, mushroom. Mushroom actually goes to tier 4 as long as you're grinding glowing mushrooms. Netherwort, potato, pumpkin, all these easy ones on top of all the easy mining ones that can all be found in dwarven mines such as coal, diamond, emerald, gold, cobblestone, iron, lapis, redstone. If you do this for most reasonable collections, this should equate to about 36 XP from farming collections and 40 XP from mining collections. If you would like, you could also try to do combat collections as well, but that's going to be a little bit harder. The other thing you can do is get a lot of these cheap travel scrolls, because travel scrolls, when they're claimed on your account, are 15 Skyblock XP each. Some of them can be purchased at any rank, such as the travel scroll to the Wizard Tower. Some of them do require MVP+. I will say, if you are planning on playing Skyblock for a while, it is 100% worth it to purchase MVP Plus from the Hypixel store, because it unlocks all wardrobe slots and the ability to use all fast travel scrolls. Unfortunately, I don't really have a code to promote here. Maybe in 4 months I will, so in 4 months from now you're watching this video, try code Yadi on the store. Maybe it works. Some of the cheapest scrolls you could get, which the money again can be gotten from farming glowing mushrooms, is the travel scroll to the Wizard Tower, the travel scroll to the gold mine. You could also try to grind out the collection you needed to craft the raw craft cost, because it's a lot cheaper, but it's going to take more time. The travel scroll to the end, the travel scroll to the Dwarven Forge, the travel scroll to the Rift, travel scroll to the Park, travel scroll to the Barn, travel scroll to the Mushroom Island, the travel scroll to the Deep Caverns, and the travel scroll to the Crimson Isle. All of the ones that don't require MVP Plus, you can get up to 150 Skyblock XP, which is a level and a half. That's a ton. Other cheap ones that do require MVP Plus would be the travel scroll to the Spider's Den, Top of the Nest, travel scroll to the Museum, travel scroll to the Jungle, travel scroll to the Hub Castle, travel scroll to the Howling Cave, and the travel scroll to the Dragon's Nest. If you have MVP Plus, you could get all the way up to 225 Skyblock XP total just from scrolls. I'm also relatively positive that you don't need the collection requirements to unlock these to claim if you buy them on age. Pretty positive. I was able to claim a Rift one on this account. And I don't even have, I'm Skyblock level 12, but I've never entered the Rift. If you want to spend less money, you can grind out the collection requirements as I stated before, but just know that these will take more time than probably just grinding out the money with glowing mushrooms just to buy them off AH. The other thing you can do for Skyblock XP is head over to the Community Center and start getting Community Center upgrades. I'm pretty sure this unlocks the Skyblock level 10. I could be wrong, I don't actually remember. So if you can't use this yet, just know that you can use this in the future, and there are a lot of good upgrades you can get, such as minion slots, which matter a lot. You spent all that time unlocking Dwarven Mines, you can just go and grind out your first Heart of the Mountain level in Dwarven Mines with a Fractured Mithril Pickaxe, mining yourself down the commissions and doing event commissions as they come along, because that'll get you a pretty solid amount of Skyblock XP. Getting Tier 2 in Heart of the Mountain is 45 on top of Tier 1, which is 35. That's plus 80 Skyblock XP. On top of all of the mining skill level ups you're going to have from completing these commissions, because commissions give a ton of mining XP, especially when you first start. The other thing I would really recommend is coming over to this bridge, coming down here, and coming over to the Royal Mines. In the Royal Mines, you'll find these different veins, which you can actually grind these resources, these mining resources, way easier and get level ups in these collections if you need more XP. But the one I would recommend mining for sure is redstone. The reason why is because you can unlock the accessory bag in redstone. The accessory bag is important because it will store all of your accessories that you can get, and this gives you Skyblock XP. All of these accessories right here can be bought from the adventurer NPC in the hub, as well as melodies that we got from completing Harp. Mining this redstone for collection actually goes extremely quickly. It'll take, I don't know, like maybe 15 minutes to get to a medium accessory bag upgrade. You can go past if you want, but I think that this is a good place to stop. If you're curious, I mined out this amount of redstone in the span of like 10 seconds. Getting to redstone tier 6 is also another 20 Skyblock XP. The only thing I'd recommend having is just a fraction of the pickaxe, like I said before, as well as glacial armor. Getting these tallies will give you plus 33 Skyblock XP. Buying the Potion Affinity artifact will get you plus 8 Skyblock XP. Other tallies I'd recommend buying is the Tarantula Talisman for plus 12 Skyblock XP. The Haste artifact is incredibly cheap for plus 12 Skyblock XP. The Fish Affinity Talisman is super cheap for plus 8 Skyblock XP. If the Jerry Island is open and it's wintertime, like it was 12 hours ago, you could do the challenge for the frozen chicken for plus 8 Skyblock XP. If it's the end of the year, you could buy a cake bag from the baker for plus 5 Skyblock XP. The Magnetic Talisman is super cheap if you unlock it in collections. I mean, it's a 687 coin craft cost. That's nuts for plus 5 Skyblock XP. The Farmer Orb is very cheap for plus 5 Skyblock XP. The Fire Talisman is very cheap for plus 3 Skyblock XP. The Farming Talisman is incredibly cheap for plus 3 Skyblock XP. The Vaccine Talisman is incredibly cheap for plus 3 Skyblock XP. The Night Vision Charm is incredibly cheap for plus 3 Skyblock XP. The Lava Talisman is cheap for plus 5 Skyblock XP. The Wood Affinity Talisman is very cheap for plus 5 Skyblock XP. And you can obviously also keep one of the Chumming Talismans for yourself. Getting all of these tallies totals to about 128 Skyblock XP. You can also go ahead and head to all the collections you unlocked and create these first couple minion levels for all of these collections. Each unique minion craft is plus 1 Skyblock XP. So if you get coal minions level 4, that's plus 4 Skyblock XP. It's not going to take that long to mine out all this coal at all. And since you have Bazaar unlocked, you can actually purchase the materials if you would rather grind the money. By this point, you should also start getting this message when you go back to your island. A stranger has appeared on your island. And who that's going to be is Sam. If you talk to Sam, she's going to take you to your very own garden. Garden is very good for Skyblock levels because you get plus 10 Skyblock XP per garden level, plus 1 Skyblock XP per milestone, and the first couple milestones go very quickly, plus 5 Skyblock XP per unlocked plot, and the first couple plots are very cheap, as well as extra Skyblock XP for every composter upgrade. Now, if you've done all of this, if you're still missing Skyblock XP for Skyblock level 12, you can also purchase an AOTE and go do most Fairy Souls. If you don't know what Fairy Souls are, there are little souls that can be found around the hub, and when collecting them, you can talk to Tia the Fairy and upgrade your profile. She'll explain to you that those are the souls of her fallen sisters. Every time you claim 5 Fairy Souls, you get plus 10 Skyblock XP, and you also get a backpack slot. And who doesn't like having more storage? Doing Tia should be done anyway just for the backpack slots. There's actually up to 490 total XP you can get out of Fairy Souls, but for a reasonable new profile, you could probably only get about 400 of the 490. Still, that's 4 levels. That's a lot of levels. Honestly, you could skip probably most of the stuff beforehand and just do a bunch of Fairy Souls, but it's always good to have a well-rounded profile. At this point, you should have Skyblock level 12 and unlock the Rift. You're going to head to the top of the Wizard Tower, talk to the Wizard. He's going to ask you if you're interested in learning more. You're going to tell him yes. You're going to keep working through his dialogue, and then he's going to give you a Dimensional Infusion. You need a Dimensional Infusion in order to enter the Rift. You get 3 free ones. You get 1 free infusion every 4 hours, so if you want to wait and do it for free, you can. I definitely wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend just heading over to the Bazaar whenever you run out of free ones and purchasing 32 Grand Experience bottles. It only costs 196k. That's not a ton. I would definitely use the money that you have farmed up until this point to buy those. Otherwise, go out and farm more money, come back, buy it, get into the Rift. Because the Rift's return on investment is just so good. If you want a guide on how to do the Rift, I do have that playlist on my channel. I have a fully comprehensive guide to the Rift as well as to the Mountaintop, so make sure to check out those videos. I'll have the playlist linked down below if you need help for that. But now, it's time to get into what the best Rift method is. You should come back to this part in the video once you complete the Rift. There are actually a lot of money-making methods associated with the Rift. However, I'm only going to be going over some of the absolute best ones, or in my opinion, the best ones, the ones I normally recommend to people. And the first one is actually going to take us to the Dread Farm. Now, I always thought all the Dread Farm money making methods were like really kind of meh, you know, like 15, 20 mil an hour, which is still really good for new players, especially because you don't have to go through the entire rift to do this. Although I'd still recommend it for the more rift time and all that. But I've discovered a gem, Wilted Berberis, specifically Wilted Berberis in this plot. And I actually found this from watching the Every Rift Money Making Method video from Candy Patent Vid, which is a good video, you should go watch it. But basically I was reading the comments of one of his videos and they talked about all the methods. They talked about Wilted Berberis, they talked about converting it into fuel injectors. However, somebody in the comments pointed out the fact that fuel injectors are actually bad value. Better value is actually the Jinxed Voodoo Doll. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do the crafts such as Voidling Minion, Voodoo Doll, Zombie's Heart. You're actually going to have to find somebody to buy these off of. But if you can buy these items off of somebody, you can make a lot of money with the Jinxed Voodoo Doll. Because farming in a small plot like this, you're actually able to just farm the Berberis by holding down left click and kind of running back and forth and breaking these really quickly. At the end of it, you end up picking all the Berberis, and what someone else commented is you can actually memorize the spawn of every Berberis as they come in and farm them even faster. The person that had that comment talked about how they used to be on Berberis leaderboard and how it's better to farm in larger plots and memorize the spawn. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't know how you are able to memorize like more than 8 in a row. 8 in a row is even pushing it most of the time. Usually I get like 6 and then I just am able to get the last 2 just because, I mean, it's a 50% chance it's one of the last 2 and then I just hit the other one. But it's really good to do it this way. I did a 30-minute test on this. In 30 minutes I farmed 1,482 Wilted Berberis. In an hour, that converts to 2,964. Pat was able to actually get 3.3k an hour, and the person in the comments was getting like 4.5k an hour if they sweat. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know. But your rates are probably going to be more similar to mine just because I'm probably closer to the average gamer than they are. For fuel injectors, that's 8.76 fuel injectors per hour. At a bazaar price of 2.5 mil, that's roughly 22 mil an hour. So not great. It's still pretty decent, not great. Now, if you were to convert that to Jinxed Voodoo Dolls, that's 2.31 Jinxed Voodoo Dolls per hour. Obviously, you can't get like the little decimal, but if you farm long enough, you'll end up farming it out. Times 18.5 mil is 43 mil. Now, obviously, you have to subtract the prices to craft, which is roughly 3.5 mil per, so that's 7 mil. But that's still 36 mil an hour. Incredibly good. The only issue is it is an AH method, so it might get saturated, might bring the prices down, but it's still extremely good. If you have the recipes to craft them anyway, that's even more profit. And by the way, if you're able to somehow get 4.5k collection per hour, that's like 55 mil an hour just off of Wilted Berberis, which is absolutely disgusting. The next method is actually coming to the living cave and farming these snakes like this, very solo, kind of like swapping back and forth. The one issue is if you farm up here, they're pretty quick, so you have to be kind of good at it. I'm not the greatest at this, but farming these snakes like this is really good. Snakes, Bluetooth rings, extremely good. Solo, in just a half hour, is able to get 120 metal living hearts. This equates to 240 per hour, which is about 7.5 Bluetooth rings per hour. Bluetooth rings right now are selling for 4.2 mil, which equates to 31.5 million coins per hour. This is really good. Now, I didn't have a partner to farm this with. Usually it's better to farm snakes with a partner. Pat said when he was doing his grind to Hyperion with Vid, they were able to get 6 stacks an hour each, which is like 1.5 times what I was able to do solo. That would be 12 Bluetooth rings per hour, which would equate to 50 million coins an hour. Absolutely crazy. But wait, there's more. There's actually a crazy method that you can do with these. Granted, it takes a lot of skill. I'm not expecting a lot of you guys to do this, but it's pretty busted. It's something I learned from actually Melon King D just talking in all chat. It's called speed snakes, and basically all it is it's 2 people in a party grinding 1 snake, or it can be 3 people, 4 people, however many people are stunning, and it's basically gonna have 2 people mining. You're gonna be mining the snake like you're doing solo. So if I'm stunning and I start mining, he's going to be stunning this block and start mining it as I'm mining mine, but slightly after. And so basically you're mining 2 blocks for every one. It's super quick. Basically almost doubles rates. Melon King D was saying you could get up to 70 mil an hour just from Bluetooth rings. Now, I don't know what the Bluetooth ring AH price when he was calculating that, but that's absolutely nutty. If you have like a co-op or a partner that you're going to play a lot with and you can practice, speed snakes might be the best money making method in the Rift. For the next money making method, we've actually made our way over to Stilgore Chateau because it is tier 5 vamp. Now the one thing I will say is I want to get this video out, so I wasn't able to do like another 8 to 10 hours of testing like I was able to do for my previous Rift video. If you guys want to see that, comment it, let me know. I can get that video out. However, tier 5 vamps have only gotten buffed since the Mountaintop came out. And the reason why is because of this item called the Super Sharp and Stabby Steak. You can actually spawn your tier 5 vamp bosses 2.5 times to like 3 times as fast. It went from 25 kills to 12 kills, which I guess is a little over 2 times, so 2 times as fast, which is really, really good. What this equates to though is you get less motes from killing to spawn, so you actually need a decent amount of motes to start with, but more bosses that you're grinding are your own, meaning higher chance to drop the one, higher chance to drop unfanged vampire parts, higher chance to drop all the other drops, which equate to motes, which is really, really, really good. I'm guessing you're not going to get like the 60 mil an hour rates I was getting before, probably closer to 50 mil an hour. And the only reason why I say that is because motes, due to Mountaintop coming out, are actually super inflated, and they're probably only worth about 63 to maybe 50 coins per mote, and they used to be worth about 150 to roughly 120 coins per mote, which is going to tank the amount of motes you're gaining from Vampire. But it's still very, very good. It takes a lot of practice. Remember that having lower ping is always going to be better. But if you don't like it, you can always use this next money making method. And last but not least, it is highlight grinding or mining Timite in the Mountaintop. The reason why this is so good is because highlights can either be sold on Bazaar as they are, which makes roughly 25 mil an hour, or you can convert them into motes, which with 5 burgers makes roughly 500k to 550k motes per hour. Usually you can get a prism for roughly 18 mil motes, maybe 20 mil motes. That's either 36-40 hours for a prism. If we take a look at the price of the prism, which is 1.4 bill, that's 37 million coins an hour. Extremely consistent, extremely good. These rates were calculated off the ability to mine out a highlight about 1 every 3 3/4 minutes, so 3.75 minutes, which equates to about 16 highlight an hour. Obviously, you shouldn't be doing this if you don't have all 5 burgers. You should definitely be grinding Vampire. And then obviously, the more competition you have, the worse your rates are going to be. But to create a highlight, all you're going to have to do is mine the Youngite. And then eventually, you're going to have to use your time gun, turn it into Timite. And then eventually, you're going to have to use your time gun and turn it into Obsolite. Mine that as well. When you get all of these pieces, when you get 32 Youngite, 32 Timite, 16 Obsolite, you can turn it into a highlight. The other thing you can actually turn it into is a Discrete, which takes a lot longer, but you're not locked in for a prism, and you actually make more money than just selling highlights as they are. It takes about 37 minutes to make a Discrete, and at their current prices, that is roughly 31 million coins an hour. So keep in mind, it's not as good as farming out a prism, but you're not locked into grinding a prism for 38 hours, and you don't really have to grind for burgers because you're just transferring the Discrete and selling it on AH. And with that, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'm glad I was able to get this updated for you guys. It seems like every time I get one of these endgame player videos out, the video becomes super outdated within like a week. And I know this took me a little while to get out, but hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully you realize how amazing Rift really is. Hopefully it'll get more people into Rift. Again, if you need a Rift guide, I'll have that on my channel. I have a playlist for basically everything in the Rift. If you need any help, be sure to join the Discord. I stream at twitch.tv/theogyadi, so make sure to follow me on there. And, you know, if this video gets like 1,000 likes, I'll go ahead and do all of the Rift money-making methods just for you guys. But with that, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!